the Eastern Front, winter of 1943. Amid blizzards and retreating columns, one formation continued to move with surprising discipline. It was not led by one of the old Prussian aristocrats, but by a man whose career had once seemed finished after the First World War. His name was Paul Hausser, a general who would become one of the most capable commanders of the Waffen-SS. Even Erich von Manstein, often critical of those outside the professional officer corps, admitted respect for Hausser's ability to hold formations together under impossible pressure. But who was this man? And why did he earn recognition from one of Germany's greatest strategists? Paul Hausser was born on the 7th of October, 1880 in Brandenburg an der Havel, into a military family. Like many of his generation, he entered the cadet corps early and pursued the career of a professional officer. By 1899, he had become a lieutenant in the Prussian Army. During the First World War, Hausser rose to the rank of major, serving in staff positions as well as in the field. He gained a reputation for composure, organizational skill, and an ability to manage complex operations in difficult circumstances. When the German Empire collapsed in 1918, the Treaty of Versailles limited the Reichswehr to just 100,000 men. Many promising officers were forced into early retirement, and Hausser was among them. In 1932, after over 30 years of service, he formally left the army. For most, this would have been the quiet end of a career. Yet for Hausser, the years of apparent obscurity would be only an interlude. The political changes of the early 1930s opened unexpected doors. In 1933, the National Socialist movement sought to build paramilitary organizations with a professional backbone. The SS, under Heinrich Himmler, required men with real military knowledge. Despite being retired, Hausser's expertise made him a valuable figure. By 1934, he had joined the SS and began shaping what would become its military arm. His mission was to turn enthusiastic but inexperienced recruits into a force capable of standing beside the regular army. At first, the idea was met with skepticism. The army's generals regarded the SS as a political tool, unsuitable for true combat. But Hausser, with patience and professionalism, worked to instill discipline, tactical competence, and organizational standards. His impact would be felt within just a few years, when the Waffen-SS units proved themselves in battle. Hausser's entry into the SS marked the beginning of a transformation. Initially, the formations were small, ceremonial, and politically focused. Hausser envisioned something different, a corps of trained soldiers able to operate with the rigor of the Reichswehr. His influence shaped the SS-Verfügungstruppe, the precursor of the Waffen-SS. Training emphasized not only ideology, which was unavoidable in the era, but also practical military skill. Drill, marksmanship, small unit tactics, and field exercises under realistic conditions gradually molded the volunteers. Hausser was not the only figure in this process, but his role was central. The result was that by the outbreak of the Second World War, several SS divisions existed that could be deployed alongside the Wehrmacht. In the campaigns of 1940, including France, Hausser's men fought with determination, though not without heavy casualties. His leadership was marked not by reckless sacrifice, but by a methodical approach that earned him respect even from skeptical army officers. By 1941, with the invasion of the Soviet Union, the Waffen-SS would expand dramatically. Hausser took command of the SS Panzer Corps, which later became the II SS Panzer Corps, one of the most formidable mechanized formations in the German military machine. The Eastern Front tested every commander to the limit. For Hausser, it was here that his abilities stood out. He coordinated movements during massive offensives, managed retreats under extreme pressure, and preserved the cohesion of his units when many others disintegrated. Soldiers under his command often recalled his visible presence near the front lines, where his calm demeanor gave confidence. It was this combination of professionalism and steadiness that drew the attention of field marshals like Erich von Manstein. Although Manstein rarely spoke favorably of SS commanders, he acknowledged Hausser's competence. In his memoirs, he noted that Hausser demonstrated the qualities of a traditional military leader, not merely a political appointee. That respect was rare and telling. One of the defining moments of Hausser's career came in early 1943, after the disaster at Stalingrad. The Soviet counteroffensive threatened to sweep German forces from Ukraine entirely. Amid collapsing fronts, Hausser's 2nd SS Panzer Corps played a decisive role in the Third Battle of Kharkov. Retreating under heavy pressure, his corps regrouped and then counterattacked with precision. The fighting was fierce, but Hausser managed to stabilize the situation and recapture the city. This was not a victory on the scale of earlier German triumphs, yet it was strategically significant. It restored the front line, boosted morale, and bought the Wehrmacht precious time. For Manstein, who orchestrated the broader counterstroke, Hausser's role was indispensable. The SS Panzer Corps under his command functioned as a spearhead, executing maneuvers that required skill and coordination. Manstein later remarked that Hausser's leadership at Kharkov was exemplary, proof that the Waffen-SS under competent generals could perform at the level of the best army units. Yet Hausser's career was not without setbacks. Later in 1943, during the retreat from Kursk, his corps was again forced into defensive operations. The balance of power was shifting irreversibly. Still, his reputation as a commander who could maintain discipline in retreat remained intact. Unlike some officers who panicked under pressure, Hausser had the rare ability to turn retreats into fighting withdrawals, preserving combat strength for future battles. This was precisely the quality Manstein valued. Not just bold attacks, but the ability to save an army from destruction. For soldiers, that meant survival. For history, it cemented Hausser's place as one of the most respected figures within the Waffen-SS hierarchy. By 1944, Hausser had risen to command Army Group G in France, a position that formally placed him within the Wehrmacht chain of command, not just the Waffen-SS. This appointment was unusual. Few SS generals were trusted with such responsibility. His task was formidable: to defend against the Allied landings in Western Europe. When the Normandy campaign began, Hausser's forces faced overwhelming odds. The Allies had material superiority, control of the air, and massive logistical support. Despite this, Hausser attempted to coordinate defensive efforts, conducting counterattacks where possible. During the Falaise Pocket, he was seriously wounded, losing an eye. Yet he survived, and even after his recovery, he continued to serve in high command until the final collapse in 1945. After Germany's defeat, Hausser was captured and later tried at Nuremberg, though not for specific war crimes. Instead, he appeared as a witness, particularly in defense of the Waffen-SS as a military organization. His later years were devoted to veterans associations, where he sought to shape the memory of the Waffen-SS as an apolitical fighting force. This view remains controversial, as historians emphasize the inseparable connection between the SS and the regime it served. Nevertheless, as a soldier, Hausser's abilities were acknowledged even by adversaries. His military competence was not erased by the political context, though it remains inseparable from it. The duality of his career, as both a professional officer and a general within the Waffen-SS, ensures that his place in history remains complex. The story of Paul Hausser illustrates the paradox of military professionalism in the midst of ideology. He was a commander respected for his competence, even by critics, yet his career unfolded within one of the darkest institutions of the 20th century. History often presents such contradictions. Individuals who embodied discipline and skill, yet whose service was inseparable from destructive causes. The lesson, perhaps, lies in recognizing both sides of this reality. To study figures like Hausser is not to glorify them, but to understand how institutions and individuals interact, how talent can be drawn into larger systems, and how professional recognition does not erase moral context. It is a reminder that history's lessons are seldom simple, but always worth examining with clarity. If you found this story engaging, please like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you won't miss future explorations of history.